Hey guys, what's up? It's Trunks, and I'm back at you guys with the war recap for week 3 of the mid-season CWL. We had Fulmen Morte versus Pigeonism. They came up with the victory on us. The score was 81 to 81, 92.50 on total destruction for Fulmen Morte to the 92.63% total destruction for Pigeonism. The Town Hall breakdown was 3 Town Hall 11s, 9 Town Hall 10s, and 18 Town Hall 9s. As you can see, they were able to 2-star all the Town Hall 11s, get a few Town Hall 10 triples, and basically take care of all the Town Hall 9s. On the Fulmen Morte side, we were able to do the same, 2-star all of the Town Hall 11s, get a few Town Hall 10 triples in there, and then basically take care of all the Town Hall 9s. We'll go ahead and get into the first replay. It's going to be Spenny coming up big on one of the Town Hall 11s as a Town Hall 10 coming up. He's going to start off with a few loons down at the bottom to go ahead and take care of that archer tower. And then he's basically just going to bring in his queen and walk her through the bottom portion of this base. Gets a baby dragon down to go ahead and help create that funnel so that way his queen walks towards the 3 o'clock position on the base and finish off that archer tower. Gets the queen down. She gets the healers down right behind that. Lets her get a little bit of working done. Gets a baby dragon down to help take out some of the trash. Drops a golem and then sends in wall breakers so that way he is able to get in to that first air defense. Giant lures out some of the CC. He goes ahead, gets a poison down for the Valkyries so that way he can go ahead and take them out. He's got another rage down for the queen so that way she's able to muscle through the clan castle and then basically step up and take out the remainder of these point defenses. Baby dragon comes out for the clan castle and he's able to just go ahead and finish off that baby dragon as his queen is standing underneath the rage. Go ahead and speed up this walk a little bit as she does take a little bit to get over to the Inferno Tower. Gets down a few funneling Valks up at the top to get rid of some of the trash. Has a rage down and then puts a freeze down on that Inferno Tower. Pops the ability to get through the Barb King. And then basically has his queen take out an Inferno. Gets his Barb King down with a few wall breakers in so that way he's able to go ahead and create the rest of the funnel up on the top side. Trails in a few Valks behind with the Barb King, so they're able to go ahead and just clear out the trash and create the pathing for the remaining Valkyries that will go down to the core. He gets a jump down and then basically trails in the Valkyries from the bottom, with the only path for them to go is right into the core. Has a rage down so that way they are able to rip right through that core and get that Town Hall down. Queen and Barb King are still working and picking up the additional percentage on this for him. Valkyries get through that Town Hall in the core and then get the Eagle down, and the Queen walks up to the north side to help with the Barb King, trying to get any of that additional percentage that he can. We'll go ahead and put this fast forwarded through, but Spenny coming up big with the 58%, 2-star on a Town Hall 11. Next up, we are going to take a look at a near close Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10 triple attempt. Basically got 98%, had most of it in the bag, but time just got him in the end. But I would like to just go ahead and show it as an honorable mention. He has a hound that comes out of the clan castle that basically stalls him up a little bit on this queen walk and eats up some of the time that in the end eventually prevents him from getting the 3-star. But he gets the queen down. Heals on her and then has rages to basically keep her up through all the point defense that is at the bottom and the clan castle. He gets a poison down to take care of the loon, and then has a second poison for when the lava hound pops. He's able to get the pups taken care of. But basically his idea on this base was that since all the air defenses were at the bottom, he could invest a couple spells in his queen and then just basically charge her into the bottom of the base and snag all of the air defenses. And then he's able to basically come through the top side of the space with some dragons and some loons to try to take care of some of these bigger point defenses that are on the backside. gets a rage down for his dragons to take out that first Inferno. Doesn't really do much damage to the dragons as they have higher hit points, and the Inferno Tower does little damage to them. Queen is still working at the bottom. He had some wall breakers come through to open up a lot of that portion, so the Queen is able to walk through there. Uses his last rage on the Queen to keep her up as the dragons are working around the top side of this base. Queen steps down to the bottom, gets the third air defense, and then takes out the archer tower, and she's working her way around basically to that last air defense. The dragons are coming around through the top side and working towards her. At this point, they are slowly dying off a little bit, but that Queen is still working to get around to the last side of this base. Cannon goes ahead and eventually picks off the archer Queen. He's got one dragon left and a few buildings, but like I said, time eventually gets him on this one with the 98%. It was a very solid hit and attempt on this one, but good job, Chris, throwing down with the high percentage that possibly could have won us the war if that 3-star came out, or with the percentage, but it was a very high hit, so it made the final outcome pretty close for us. Next, we're going to take a look at SSJ2 Trunks coming in on this base for the Town Hall 11 dip using the Golem, Bowlers, and Witch strategy. I just put out a video on this, so if you want to check that out for more details about what you would look at. When you're scouting a base to perform this attack, you can basically see, but basically gets the Bowlers and Witches down on the corners so they're able to walk down the sides, and then has a jump leading right into the first Inferno, gets the poisons down to take care of the goblins that are coming out of that clan castle, gets a rage down, pops the Eternal Tome ability, so that way his troops in the core are able to get through that clan castle and that first Inferno, has a jump down and another rage into the core, and then gets a freeze down on the last Inferno tower as his Bowlers and Witches are working through that core. His other Witches and Bowlers are still continuing to walk down the side of the base, but at this point there's no splash damage left once this Inferno tower goes down to really take care of the Witches in the core that were under rage. He's got the Bowlers still chucking rocks over the walls, taking out all the point defenses. He's got both hero abilities in the end, basically just totally wrecks this base. Goes ahead and pops the abilities to get through the base quicker, but has a ton of Bowlers and Witches in the end still standing. Like I said, if you want to check out that strategy, though, there's a how-to guide on my channel. Feel free to check it out. Next up, we are going to look at Silent Assassin. He's going to come in with the Penta La Lune on this base. Gets a Zap Quake down on one of the first air defenses to go ahead and fix the pathing through this base. And then drops the Barb King and some minions down to take care of the trash on the outside. Barb King slowly just works taking out some of that trash. He pops the ability to go ahead and get the Barb King around quicker to take care of some of the stuff, and then trails in the Queen behind Suicide Heroes to go ahead and get in and take out that Queen. Archer Queen works on getting that Town Hall down and then steps up to take out this Queen. He's got a poison waiting for the clan castle when that comes out eventually. Pops a Queen ability to go ahead and work through that Queen as she continues to work on some of the outside towers. Gets the first Lava Hound down with a second one trailing, then brings in some loons behind to the first air defense. Clan Castle comes out with a Witch and a few Wizards and a couple Archers, gets the poison down so that way they're taken care of. Gets a haste down to get the loons into that first air defense and gets it taken out. Trails in a third Hound to the backside air defense. Both Hounds going to the first one are taken out. Sends in a second Hound to that last air defense. While his loons are slowly just working around this base, he's got haste and he's got rage to get them around. Trailing over to the last air defense, he has two Hounds still standing, and then sends in a max Hound out of the clan castle. Starts trailing in his final loons as they work through that Tesla farm up on the top side. Go ahead and speed it up there. At this point, this base is done. He's got loons trailing to get rid of the last defenses. Loons all going into that final air defense. Hound still standing up, and he's basically on cleanup now as his loons and pups and minions work to clean up the final portion of this base. Solid Penta La Lune. Good job, Silent Assassin, pulling off the 3-star. Next up, we're going to take a look at number 19. We have Kelser coming in with the 6-pack this war. We're going to show actually both of his attacks, but we'll go ahead and start off with this one. Gets a loon down to just take out that outside mortar and help with some of the funneling, and then drops a few archers on the outside to trim some of the outside buildings. Gets a golem down on the top side, and then gets a few wizards down behind to take out that Barb King as the golem is working on that mortar. Does the same thing on the 3 o'clock side. Few wizards down and a golem behind that one. Gets a third golem down and then sends in a test wall breaker to check for any traps. Once he knows there's none there, he then gets in the remaining wall breakers. Wall breakers open the wall. Golems are redirecting to the core. He comes in with bowlers behind that. Gets a jump down to lead him right into the core of the base with his heroes behind. Gets a poison down when the clan castle comes down, and then rages his troops through that clan castle and the Teslas that are right there. Gets a heal down to keep the bowlers up, and then basically starts trailing in loons around the outside of this base to target the archer towers, which would only affect the loons. The cannons are useless at this point, as they can only target the ground troops. Bowlers and Barb King are still working in the core. Pops that Barb King ability to go ahead and get him over to take out the enemy Archer Queen. He's got a golem working on the top side to go ahead and take out that final air defense, as the Barb King and the Archer Queen are still working in the core. Go ahead and speed this one up as well, as he's basically just completely wrecked this base. He has 5 loons and 3 wall breakers and 2 wizards in the bag for the cleanup. He goes ahead and gets a few of those troops down, as the remaining loons go ahead and take out that last mortar. Archer Queen and Barb King on the backside cleaning up, as he swags those 5 loons for the cleanup. Next up, we will go ahead and take a look at Kelser's second attack, but basically he comes in with the same attack style and completely annihilates this base again as well. Gets a wizard down at 3 o'clock to help with some of that funneling. Drops some wizards down at 6 o'clock as well to go ahead. The mortars on the outside don't really do much to these wizards, so they're able to get a few of these outside buildings down, so that way his troops can funnel in. Gets a golem down at 4 o'clock to basically tank and get through that mortar. Tanks the point defense, and then has the wizard step up behind to take out the outside towers. Gets a second golem and a third golem down at the 3 o'clock range, as the wizards basically just walk down this wall, taking out the point defenses on the bottom side of this base. Sends in his wall breakers to go ahead and open up the wall. Brings in the Archer Queen behind. Drops the bowlers from the clan castle and gets a jump down, basically leading to the core of the base. Trails in the Barb King behind with that. Wizards are still working. Lures out the clan castle with a few troops up at the top, and then gets a heal down in the core of this base, so that way his bowlers will stand up through any of the traps. Puts a rage down and the poisons to work his way through that clan castle, and then drops a second jump on the backside to open up access to that queen. Goes ahead and puts a poison down on the queen to slow her down, as the Barb King steps up over to that queen. And then he begins just trailing in some loons on the backside to take out the point defenses that are on the outside of this base. Queen and King basically wreck the core with the bowlers, and then the queen gets down the remaining air defenses. He's got loons trailing in on the top side, as the golem is tanking all the point defenses and taking out the final towers. He'll basically annihilates this base. Once again, he has loons in the bag and a few wizards, with the queen ability all to swag basically here at the end of this attack, but just basically destroys it. Didn't even stand a chance. Kelser coming up big this war, though, with the 6-pack. Huge shout out to you for that one. And the final attack we will go ahead and check out is from Ikori, coming in with what looked to be an HB attack, but then he kind of switches it up. Puts the queen down with the healers on her, and then gets a few wizards on the side to go ahead and help funnel the queen so she's able to walk through the space. Gets a few minions down to take out some of the trash that's on the outside. Queen works through those heavy storage buildings, and then eventually is going to step up and take out the enemy Archer Queen as well. gets a few giants down on that cannon as the queen's working, puts the rage down, gets her up to take out that enemy archer queen, and then pops the ability. Helen comes out of the clan castle, and the queen will basically work to take out that relatively quick underneath that rage. He has poisons to get down for the pups. Then trails in his golems and Barb King down at 6 o'clock. They beat through the wall, and then he basically begins to come in like an HB style, but the healers are on the queen instead. She will walk around to the top side of the base eventually and start taking out working on the trash on the top side, but he has the bowlers and the wizards following the giants in with his Barb King. Gets down to rage, so that way his troops can basically work through that core at that bottom relatively quick. Queen begins to work through the top side of the base. Has a heal down to keep the giants up as they are working on getting through that wall in that wizard tower. Barb King beats through the wall and gets into the core of the base. Bowlers and giants redirect, and then he just starts trailing in hogs and then some baby dragons on the backside for cleanup. Gets a heal down right there where all the huge splash damage is in the core of the base as the hogs and the bowlers are continuing to work through. Queen is working to get through on the top side to get into that top compartment. Hogs are basically destroying the rest of this base. He has bowlers still standing. He's got the hogs working on the top side and the cleanup working down on the bottom side of the base. Basically just wrecks this base with an HB style attack, but instead he uses the heals for his giants and then has an archer queen walk that basically she survives through the whole attack and takes out a good portion of the base. She's still standing for the cleanup. He's got bowlers working to go ahead in that base and a few baby dragons, but that's basically going to wrap up this base. We'll times for it as he finishes working him through this. But if you guys have made it this far in the video and you guys like what you have seen, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'll have more content, more war recap, more how-to guides coming out here soon in the future for you guys. But until next time, guys, this is Trunks signing out.